All right, so today we're going to get into dilutions. Dilutions are exactly what it sounds like. It's how do we dilute a solution to get it to the molarity that we want. A lot of times we make stock solutions that are much stronger and put them in our chemical storerooms or whatever, and we use them whenever we're needing something weaker, so we dilute them. So the formula here is M1V1 equals M2V2. So molarity 1, or the initial molarity, times the volume, the initial volume, equals the final molarity times the final volume. So whenever you're doing this, you're going to be given 3 numbers in the equation, and you'll have to find the fourth. So the math is pretty straightforward. It's figuring out what's the M1, M2, or V1, V2. That's kind of the trickier part. So here's an example. A certain solution is made to have a molarity of 5.0 molar. How much would be needed to make 500 milliliters of 3 molar solution, of a 3 molar solution of this stuff? So we have 5 and 3, so those are our molarities. Molarity, if we're diluting, molarity is going to be going down, right? We're adding water. So the higher molarity is always going to be M1. So that's our M1. M1 equals 5.0. M2 equals 3.0. And then V2, because we're trying to make 500 milliliters of it, so V2 is 500 milliliters. And we're going to solve for V1. So I'm going to plug these numbers in. So 5.0 times V1 equals 3.0 times 500. Okay, and it doesn't really matter whether we have our milliliters, our volume in milliliters or liters, so long as they're both the same. So whenever we solve for this, since we're using milliliters, our volume is going to be in milliliters. So 3 times 500 would be 1500 equals 5 times V1. Divide both sides by 5. So V1 equals 300 milliliters. So what that means is we'd have to take 300 milliliters of this solution, and then we'd add 200 milliliters of water to then get to 500 milliliters of the 3.0 molar solution. Okay, so here's another one. So let's do another one. So if we have a 15 molar solution, 15 molars, and we have 50 milliliters of it, and then we add 100 milliliters. What's the new molarity? So we have 15 molar solution, and we have 50 milliliters of that solution. We add 100 milliliters. What's the new molarity? So M1 is 15, V1 is 50, M2 we don't know. Now, here's the thing. When we get to V2, V2 is the total volume, right? So we don't use 100, we have to use 150 because we're adding 100 to the 50. So our V2 is 150. So be careful there. A lot of times, whenever look at the verb, what the question is asking. Is it say we have a total of 100, or are we adding 100? So you got to add that. So then 15 times 50 will be 750 equals M2 times 150. Then we divide both sides. So those cancel, M2 equals 5. So our new molarity is 5. Okay. So that's kind of the basics. So you're really, it's a lot about figuring out which ones are which M's go where, which B's go where, and then plugging them into this formula and then solving. Okay. So let me know if you have any questions, and have a good day.